John Harper, Ty Butler here to talk Mets, guys. 6 games. That's not what you want to see, but this is just the second time in the last 17 years the Mets have blown a lead in 7 consecutive games, Harp. I think this may be a little bit worse than we originally thought. Is there a way out of this? Anytime soon, at least?
It doesn't feel like it, Nikki, that's for sure. And I have to disagree with Francisco Lindor. He said it's a bad stretch. It's more than a bad stretch at this point. This is going 2 months of really mostly bad baseball. So I'm not sure where they're going, but it does feel like, and now, you know, we waited for this offense to get going. Now the offense finally starts scoring runs. Now they can't get anybody out. They can't hold leads. So it feels like nothing is working for this team right now. It's hard to believe they're still in a playoff position, actually, the way they've played, as badly as they've played. But they still do have a chance. I just think that they have to figure something out with the bullpen and the starting rotation, because that's where it's going to start for them. Everything has gone wrong. And, you know, you hear Mendoza now, he's out of answers. You can hear he just continues to say the same thing. And there's not really much. These guys have to perform. It's not on the manager at this point. He's made some questionable moves in the last few weeks, but it's on the players to pick this up here.
Yeah.
I'm watching it happen, and I still can't believe it.
We have nothing to say.
Every single night, the Mets are doing the same thing over and over again. It's like they are trying to one-up, well, was that the worst loss of the season? Doing it over and over again. Here's the deal. Sham and I, we're going to talk about him in a minute. But this Met team scoring 9 runs and still losing is an embarrassment. When Steve Cohen spends that amount of money invested into this team that was supposed to contend for a championship, and they're 19 or 18 and 34 in their last 53 games, that cannot happen. And that starts with the starting rotation, which I know we're going to get to in a moment.
We're all sitting there watching them score 9 runs, and we're like, somehow they're going to find a way to lose. It just feels like they find a way to lose every single night. And then you see the Brewers finding a way to win.
Oh,
it's
my
like,
God.
It's just totally opposite ends of the spectrum. So you mentioned the starting pitching. That's been kind of their biggest issue this season so far. Ty, if Sham and I doesn't figure it out, are the Mets just toast for the rest of the season?
They might be cooked. Listen, this was a guy we were in unison saying he's got to get back because they are in desperation mode looking for some help in that starting rotation. Last year, he was excellent for them. He comes back, now back-to-back bad starts. So he's got to figure it out. This Met team should not score 9 runs. You get 2 home runs from Francisco Lindor. You get a home run from Juan Soto, and you still lose the game. I get the bullpen didn't do its job tonight, but Sham and I has got to be a lot better than that. 9 runs for this guy, and they still lose the game? That cannot happen.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, this is really becoming a concern now because he doesn't look like the same guy as last year. You heard Darling on the broadcast say his fastball looks short, meaning not the same life and the same velocity as last year. You know, he changed that arm angle last year. He was blowing the ball by guys at the top of the zone. I don't know if it's the elbow. You know, they had the thing with the loose bodies in the elbow. He had the oblique, came back late from that. So, but he has to be an ace. He and, you know, Senga showed signs of maybe getting better, turning it around the other night, but now it can't. It has to start with Manaea. Somebody's got to give this rotation length. You can't count on it from Holmes. Peterson had a bad one. Maybe you can count on it from him. And then you don't know what you're going to get from the young guy McLean now coming up. So if Manaea, if he doesn't pitch like at least somewhat like a guy who's dependable to get you to 6th and 7th inning, I don't know how they're going to get through these games.
And they can't expect the bullpen to just win them games day in and day out. So we know the Mets, we thought, had a good deadline. They now have lost 14 of their last 16. Harp, did David Stearns do enough?
Well, listen, his moves were universally praised at the deadline around Major League Baseball. He talked to other people, scouts, executives, that type of thing. They thought he did a great job bringing these guys in. 2 of the 3 have been bad so far. I think Rogers is being overworked here. Helsley has to figure it out. He's all over the place. But look, the one thing he could have done, he could have got a starting pitcher. There wasn't a lot that was traded. Even Charlie Morton would have helped this team. So maybe he has to take a hit there. He didn't want to give up top prospects for that. But right now, it looks like he did not do enough for this team.
The 2 biggest needs at the deadline, starting pitching, which the Mets did not acquire, and bullpen help, which has been a disaster this last couple of weeks. So, I mean, you got to give him some criticism. I know it was praised at the deadline when it happened, but you're only judged by the results, and the results are you've lost 14 of 16 games. Yeah. So he's got to take a hit for that.
Like Lindor said, just a bad stretch. You're hoping their stretch turns around. They desperately hope to bounce back Saturday. Nolan McLean makes his debut. More on that, Harp. We'll talk about him in just a bit. Ty, you're also back to talk football coming up later in the show.